Looks like Facebook might be having some troubles or not taking our feed. Greg, can you check and see what you're getting over on Facebook, Armed American Radio?
Give me a minute. I don't see you.
What are you seeing over there?
I don't see Armed American Radio.
At all? Wait, I'm in the back end. Yeah, it's out there. You as a visitor. Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, I'm just seeing yesterday.
Yep, I'm seeing yesterday's. I'm not seeing any stream from Restream today. Okay.
We'll see.
Too late for me to go live. I'll do it on another break.
Here we go.
Give me 30.
It doesn't matter.
30.
Record.
30?
Yes, 30.
This is Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
Presented by X Insurance. X Insurance. From the gunbroker.com studios on the Crossbreed Holsters Platinum microphone.
They're never going to stop us here.
It's 2021, and we're in a new decade. Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
Welcome inside Armed American Radio's Daily Defense. I am Mark Walters. This is the gunbroker.com studios lit up for you on the Crossbreed Holsters Platinum and very powerful microphone. All of this being presented to you today across the country by X Insurance, a far superior product to what you think you might have. If you need CCW insurance, business insurance, lifestyle activity insurance, X Insurance has you covered, and they cover your freedom. This isn't third-party, gimmicky, get a free range bag, train stuff. This is real insurance policy written in your name for you by an AM Best A-rated company that is going to be there for you if, God forbid, your freedom is on the line. Now, for those on the streams, this is a Trump 2020 mug I'm drinking my Defender iced coffee out of today. You never know who might upset out in, big tech land. Don't care. I'm chewing ice cube for you as well. This from the Gun Owners of America before I go to my guest for the hour. Today, the most radically anti-gun government takes control of America. Future generations of Americans are counting on you and me to step up at this critical moment in our nation's history to save our Second Amendment rights. Craig DeLuze, Firearms Policy Coalition. And Craig, your resume is just too big. I mean, you got actor out there in Sacramento, California. You got podcasts going on. Go ahead and lay out your resume for us. Let me get your picture up here for you on the screen as well, too. There we go, Craig. How you doing, bud?
Well, I'm doing well, sir. I'm doing well. Well, about as well as can be expected on this day. I always start off by saying that I am a card-carrying member of the vast right-wing conspiracy because I want people to know exactly where I'm at. You know, my calling right now is in gun rights, and 90% of what I do is fighting for the right to keep and bear arms, whether it's in the media, doing stuff like Morning Coffee with Craig or Rapid Fire or the Gunshine State for folks out there in Florida carry, or it's lobbying for the Firearms Policy Coalition. In California, Nevada, and in Washington, D.C. I also do a lot of conservative stuff. In particular, host a podcast or a video podcast for a group called the California Republican Assembly. Reagan once called the conscience of the Republican Party. It's conservatives in the state of California, if you believe in such a thing. So I got a lot of stuff that I do. I act. I'm a 16-year school board member.
Filmmaker, act director, right?
Father of one, husband of one. Filmmaker, director, chief cook, and bottle washer.
Chief cook and bottle washer, man. You got it going on. Let me tell you something, listeners. Craig, I don't think you've been on this program, and that's an absolute crying, screaming shame. We're fixing that right now. And I wanted you on today, Inauguration Day, for a reason. I think it's kind of cool. First-time guest, first-time new president, right? So, look, I don't have any notes with you. And listeners, there's a reason for that. I've known Craig for a long time. Craig and I speak together at many events. I've been a guest in front of his camera on more times, I guess, than I can count when we do gun rights policy conference events, et cetera. And we're no stranger to each other. We have met up at SHOT Show before and may have found some trouble late at night on the way back to the hotel after leaving some VFW halls, you know. It's vague, right? Yeah, see, not trouble, legal trouble, just, you know, maybe out a little bit later than we should, and that's because of the time change. That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about over there. But we've eaten Mexican food out of a truck in a parking lot at 3 a.m. All right, so we've been there and surfed it. Craig, that's like a bonding. That's a bonding experience, right? Especially when it's in Vegas. But it was really good food. I think at that time anything would have been really good food. But let's talk a little bit about, you know, that Gun Owners of America statement in an email. I mean, when I opened up my email just a few moments ago, that was glaring at me. We know you and I work together very closely with the Second Amendment Foundation. But when you hear a statement like that, you know, Craig, this is the first discussion I've had with anybody on the show during what is now a Biden presidency. To me, it's extremely bizarre, and I want to get your take on it. What are you feeling right now, particularly because you're out there in California? This is nothing new. You've been dealing with these attacks for years. We're getting ready to see things on an unprecedented scale. What's going through Craig's mind right now?
Well, you know, the first thing that I have to do is I always have to remember, you know, the first rule of either keeping your sanity or understanding life is never let the highs are never as high as they seem and the lows are never as low as they seem. So you have to, first of all, realize that, okay, look, we survived Barack Obama. We survived President Trump, and we will survive President Joe Biden. The question is, what condition will we be in once it's over? What condition will our gun rights be in once his presidency is all over? I can tell you that I'm looking at a number of individuals who he's appointing in his administration, and he is pulling some of the best of the anti-gun, some of the most prominent anti-Second Amendment advocates throughout the state of California, and putting them in various different places. Whether it's our Attorney General, now going to be running a Department of Health and Human Services, whether it's there's an Assistant Health Secretary that he's going to be bringing in that's come from California, just a number of different individuals who are going to be a part of his administration that do not believe in the fundamental right to keep and bear arms. I cannot tell people enough how important it was that President Trump had the opportunity to appoint so many right-minded judges, because that's where we're going to wind up doing a lot of fighting. Because the one thing we'll start to see is that if the moderate Democrats in the Senate get their way, and they or not so much get their way, if they cave and they then start to also be a part of the anti-gun mantra and passing some of this stuff, you will start to see that the place where we're going to have to go it's going to be in court. Yeah. Court is where we're going to have to make sure we're going to have to be defending our rights. So having a better balance, because it's still not a great balance. It's not the best balance it could be, but that's where we're going to have opportunities. And I look at what's happened in California, and I realize that when given the opportunity, anti-gunners will always overreach, and that is our opportunity to go to the courts and get some redress. if you have a fair shot. And I do believe, while in many cases it may take getting to the Supreme Court, I do believe we're going to have some chances to get a fair shot at defending our rights.
243 judges. Trump put in 243 confirmed. That's a record. I don't think Biden will. It is a record. I don't think Biden will get anywhere close to that. That's a record in presidential politics. There's no question about that. The vast majority of those judges, believe me, you wanted Trump putting those judges in when it comes to your Second Amendment freedoms, not an anti-gun Biden administration.
Well, exactly. And I wanted to say this because, there are a lot of people who have issues and say, well, Trump wasn't this and he wasn't that and he wasn't this. And I'll be the first to say Trump was not perfect on the Second Amendment. But most of the people who voted for him, in particular Second Amendment advocates, did so for one reason, and that was judges. And
Supreme Court.
While he may have said a bunch of other things, he came through on the judges.
Well, the Supreme Court was paramount. That's the vast majority of voters knew. Yeah. That was a huge issue during the campaign in 2016, was the future of the Supreme Court. Now, let me ask you this. Would you rather, and I ask this to those of you who, there are a lot of people out there who don't like Trump on Second Amendment issues, that want to gloss over the fact that there was someone else besides him running. That was Hillary Clinton. And my question is, who did you want?
Yeah.
Okay, you got to get real, get your head out of your patooties. Presidential politics, there are two players, count them, 1 and 2. Third party, right. Okay, not a big deal. You want to worry about third parties, do it on your own time. In reality, you have two options. You got a Republican and a Democrat. We got to get real here, okay? We're not going to gloss over the facts. You have two options. You had Clinton, you had Trump. When it came to your 2A rights, this program unabashedly supported Donald Trump and still supports Donald Trump over the current administration that took power today, because we view everything through the lens of the Second Amendment. And to do otherwise is naive and, frankly, stupid. When you're talking about having two options, one sucks, one doesn't suck as bad. I'm taking the one that doesn't suck as bad. We're getting ready to take a break. And, Craig, when we come back, we're going to have a lively remaining 3 segments, I have a feeling. Because I want you to tell people what it's like in California, and then I want to talk with you a little bit about Virginia and how we're going to be seeing some of that on steroids now with the Biden administration. We're going to learn a little bit about what Craig has to go through as a gun owner out on the far left coast, where Kamala Harris is from, and what they want to give to you across the country. Mark Walters, Crossbreed Holsters Microphone, Gunbroker.com studios, all of it presented by X Insurance. Back with Craig DeLuze right after this. YouTube viewers, I'm going to go ahead and put a new stream in here. We're going to get it back up on Facebook. Not sure why we're having an issue at Facebook, but we need to find out, so we're going to test that while we're live. So all of you YouTube viewers want to cut it off. I'm going to cut you off here in just a second, and we're going to set up a new stream